We are now preparing the meeting for volunteers that we want to have on the 25th of April. It is second day of the Orthodox celebrated Easter here, and we will show statistics of what was done with Bake for Ukraine. We will hear some witnesses of people who participated. We want also to hear witnesses from those who received the support, but also we want to thank those people who were supporting us all this time. It is really incredible how many actions and how many people made this all possible and still are making this all possible. Donations from all over the world, mainly of course United States and the Netherlands. Actions organized by families, schools, churches, choirs, companies. A lot of creativity involved. While the yellow and blue colors probably are sold out for half a year ahead in many countries. But what I would like to ask from those of you who are following my Facebook page, can you please send me personal messages with short descriptions, or maybe with videos or photos of your actions which you made. I know that there were a lot on Facebook, and I even was not able to follow them all, but now we're trying to gather a bit of them, and then for ourselves to remind what was happening, to thank God for you, but also to show to people here in Ukraine how many people and in which way supported us. So if you have some photos, if you have some videos of your actions, when you were crafting, when you were selling something, when you were performing something, can you please send it to me on Messenger, or if you need, just send me personal message. I'll send you my phone number and you can send it in Telegram or WhatsApp, so that we can collect all those witnesses. Or maybe you have your own personal story that you wanted to share. Of course, you can do it via Facebook on your page, or just tag me on my page. But we also would like to have those videos really in some time, just to sit ourselves with a team to look through them, to share them with others, because this all was enabled by many people, many families, organizations, individuals, and we are so thankful for all of you. And these all activities supported us very much in these very difficult times. Of course, we are all together thinking now about future, and I'm also thankful to those of you who already respond, like, well, I saw this baker in Chernihiv and I would like to support him. We are thinking about how to make it in a structured way, how to make it that it will really be used for baking purposes, for charity purposes. So donations can be done, for example, in a form of some equipment, which we can check if it is working, or in a form of some packaging materials, or in a form of some raw materials, or in a form of donation for specific promotion of specific bakery, which we hope we will create together with people here in Ukraine, or that we will support the development of those bakeries. So please stay connected, and also we will launch like questionnaire, or we'll launch the page where you could log in and say, well, yeah, I'm ready to support, I have knowledge, or I have funds, or I have ideas which could support small bakeries in Ukraine, in those cities which will have to be rebuilt. Of course, you can ask me, well, what are you speaking about, rebuilding a country while war is going on? Yes, but since day one we believe that victory will be on our side. We don't know exactly when it will come, but we know that we will win, and also we know that this country will need to be rebuilt. And also in future, I believe quite a lot in the power of many people, and we saw this power of many Ukrainians which didn't need any order. They just stood up and they were helping themselves, they were protecting their own land, they were protecting their houses, families, and they were sharing food, they were baking, they were cooking, they were delivering, they were staying on a blog post, they were supplying things. So a lot of people were involved here in Ukraine and all over the world, and we believe that the power of many people can create a lot of things. But we also are asking, and I very much ask you, that you would really pray for the future planning and for the future ideas of Bake for Ukraine. We need so much wisdom, and also we need so powerful team to make it first, and then to keep it running, and to keep it running in a way that it will be the most efficient help for many people here, really, that it will be done properly, that it will correspond to correct business principles, to correct Christian values, to correct business ethics also. And for that we need a lot of wisdom, we need people, we need funds. Thanks to your activity, many of you, we have funds much more than we needed just for Bake for Ukraine now during the war. I just today met a guy, for example, I was bringing our son Petro to the hospital. He had some problem with his knee. And just some guy met me on the street. Well, I saw him a few years ago, and then he came to me and said, well, thank you very much that you were given bread during these difficult times. He said, I'm ashamed now to come. I don't come anymore. I don't pick up the bread now. But during those difficult days, it was so important that there was bread available when it was not in the shops. So what I see, that people are here not misusing these chances. Now we are giving still soups, we are giving still breads to people, normally more, well, poor people, old people, socially weaker people. We are still feeding rehab centers, and we will continue. Part of that ministry will continue, so we'll supply some breads still for free because of your donations. But big part of soups, for example, will have to stop, and also just giving out bread on the street here in the town we will stop. But we are responding to requests from other towns. So when people are coming to us and they're picking up the bread and they want to deliver it to the towns which are now suffering or which are receiving a lot of refugees, then we still continue. So, well, sorry for such a longer video today. I will also place some photos of how bread was distributed in some villages around. I'm posting far, not everything, just also not to get you tired from all those photos of different people with bread or with soup. But I would like to thank you very much and to ask for your prayers. Prayers are very important now for our planning, for our continuation of the ministry, and just understanding what God wants us to do. God bless you all. It's now the first time we came to Maidan Nezalezhnosti, square, Independence Square of Kyiv, in this wartime. And here immediately we see a lot of military guys, and we have here cargo 200, which means someone died, so there will be a funeral procedure. So people came to say last goodbye to someone who died in the war. And we were driving through Kyiv. There were already much more people than before. A lot of block posts still, and especially here in the center, the area of parliament, the president's office is surrounded by military, so you cannot go there. But it's not blocking the movement of cars. So here we are near the square, also Statue of Liberty, so to say, of Ukraine. And in Kyiv, if you drive through the streets, you don't see damages. So it was, tension was here some time ago, but now it is already less tensed. And of course, the most dangerous places are now the east of Ukraine and the south. So the whole Ukraine is now mourning together with those who are suffering at this moment and are supporting the east and the south of country. And a lot of people are thinking, like, will it be there, or will they go back to Kyiv, and how successful will be Ukrainian army, and depending on that, the next stages of the war can develop. But we are also expecting more heavy weapons from the West to support Ukrainian army, and finally to make it possible to fight against the whole Russian army, not only with hands and Kalashnikov, but with also a heavy weapon, which will enable us to stop the evil which is actually coming on the whole Europe. So, but at the same time, we're here with children, just for them also to be a bit out. It's the first time when we come as a family out of Brovary and try to walk. We wanted to walk in parks, but parks are blocked. You cannot walk in the parks, at least what we saw. So we are now walking here on Maidan and the central street of Kyiv, and there we see preparations for the funeral. And we are staying here. These are the faces of people who died during the revolution here in 2014, and that's when the war started actually with Russia. Since that time it never stopped, and Russia just could not stand the fact that Ukraine wanted to be independent, free. People were just fighting for the freedom to elect whomever you want, to say what you want, to think different, but that is something which Russians don't want. And of course Ukraine pays the price, and well, that's one of the demonstrations of the price. So our best people are now fighting and dying on the fields of battle now at the east and south of Ukraine. Independence Square of Kyiv. Today it's the first time with our family we went out to walk in Kyiv. We wanted to walk in parks, but parks are closed, it's not allowed, and so we went here. This square knew already at least 3 revolutions what I was witnessing, and now since last revolution, since 2014, the war did not stop, in fact. And here we have also a funeral of 2 military guys, and their comrades came to say the last words and to give the last honor to those who died in this war. So you can see, unfortunately, this war takes the best people of the country, but we are thankful to them and to God that they are fighting for us there, and I ask to pray for every soldier who is now fighting, who is giving his life for his land, for his families, for everything he loves. And because of their sacrifice, we can stay here in the center of Kyiv, and I can share with you. But of course, army needs a lot of support, and Ukrainian army needs heavy weapons, which until now is not given, in fact, by the West, unfortunately, because Ukraine is now the front line of the whole Europe against absolutely evil empire of Russia. So we are glad that we can serve people in these very difficult times. Thanks to your support, we can continue, but at the same time, we are witnesses of enormous tragedy of Ukrainian people. So here you can probably see the coffins staying, and soldiers. This is soldiers which are fighting now at the east of Ukraine and the south of Ukraine. Yeah, this country knew a lot of revolutions, a lot of destructions, and this country still pays a very big price for independence, for possibility to speak, for possibility to vote for whom you want, for possibility to be yourself. Our children are with us all the time of the war, also to understand and to remember how much was paid for what we have and what we will have. And of course we have to be very thankful to God that we could live in a peaceful country, and I believe that we will live in a peaceful country, but everything has a price, and this is the price this man paid for the freedom. Here we are again in the center of Kyiv at Krishchatik, so we came more close, and there are still fortification constructions, so you are not easily driving here. There are also not many people on the streets, but today we have a lot of military people, because there is a funeral of 2 military guys who died in this war. Here you can see buses that brought, it was written on them cargo 200, which in the wartime means someone died. So this is a gloomy picture on a beautiful Independence Square of Kyiv.